Okay, so aliens, right? It's like this topic everybody's got a theory about. Everyone's got like a favorite documentary, or at the very least, a healthy dose of curiosity about what might be out there. Today, we are going to be taking that curiosity to a whole new level with alien abductions, UAPs, and the Bible. This is by Pastor Dennis Memmott.
Really interesting perspective.
Well, we're diving into the intersection of like ufology and biblical interpretation here. Get ready though, because this one is some serious food for thought.
What I think is so wild about this is, we talk about aliens, we're thinking like little green men, spaceships, all that stuff. But Pastor Mehmet, he connects these alien encounters with like deeper spiritual dimensions.
Yeah.
He's looking at it through the lens of like scripture, which honestly adds a whole new layer to this whole mystery, you know?
Totally. He's not afraid to ask those big questions either.
Yeah.
Like, are these beings actually from another planet, or could they be something more? Something maybe a little more otherworldly? But to even get to the bottom of that, I think we really got to start with like the supposed genesis of this modern alien fascination. And for a lot of people, I think that goes back to the 1950s.
Yeah, like if you think back to some of those early cases like Betty and Barney Hill,
Right.
their alleged abduction in '61,
Oh, wow.
or even earlier than that, Antonio Villas-Boas'
Mhm.
story from 1957. And these accounts, even though they're years apart, they share some really uncanny similarities.
Yeah, it's true.
Almost like a blueprint for alien abduction stories even decades later, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's like you've got the altered mental states, the missing time.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, of course, those invasive procedures. Like, those themes reappear constantly. And this is where Pastor Mehmet, he takes a sharp turn. He puts those common abduction elements, he lays them right alongside verses from the Bible, specifically Genesis 6, the part about the sons of God taking wives from the daughters of men.
And, for anybody who's not super deep into biblical scholarship, sons of God in this context, like that can be interpreted as fallen angels.
Okay.
So whether you're taking that literally or maybe a little more metaphorically, it creates this really interesting parallel because you have these biblical figures engaging in, these forbidden unions, and it really kind of mirrors those abduction accounts where these beings are taking humans. Often there's, sexual element involved. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Okay. Sends chills down my spine a little bit, to be honest. Like echoes of these ancient stories, but they're playing out in modern times. It's kind of, I don't know. But also, I mean, the explanations for where these beings come from have also kind of evolved too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, what is it? Like, we've gone from these aliens being our neighbors in the solar system to, beings from distant galaxies. And now a lot of ufologists, they believe that they're not even from our universe at all. They're from another dimension entirely.
Okay.
So it's not intergalactic, it's interdimensional.
Which, I mean, I guess that makes you wonder, could that be the explanation for how these UFOs seem to just defy physics? Like they're zipping around at impossible speeds and then poof, they're gone. Like they exist outside our reality, which is similar to how, angels are depicted appearing and disappearing in all those biblical accounts.
Precisely. And Pastor Mehmet seems particularly interested in, like, this blurring between the physical and spiritual realms.
Right.
And this idea of a spiritual dimension coexisting with ours, one that might hold the key to all these weird phenomena. It's not a new idea. I mean, this concept, it's been around for centuries across a ton of different cultures and belief systems, but it's definitely fascinating stuff.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty of these alien abductions, or at least how Pastor Mehmet describes them. He breaks the experience down into 5 stages. You ready for this?
Hit me with it.
Okay. So first, you've got altered consciousness, then the abduction itself, then medical procedures, hypnosis, and then some kind of information transfer. Each step is like more unsettling than the last.
Yeah, I mean, the details are disturbing, but I think what we can't forget about is the traumatic impact that this would have on a person.
Right.
Like, imagine the nightmares, the inability to sleep, constantly looking over your shoulder, questioning your own sanity. The psychological and emotional toll, it would be immense.
Not to mention the fear of knowing that, like, they might come back.
Right, yeah.
Imagine being told, we'll be back for you.
It's like living in a horror movie you can't escape. And that's where Pastor Mehmet, he gets even more unsettling. He takes the powers we attribute to aliens, like the telepathy, shape-shifting, the mind control, and he compares them directly to biblical descriptions of demonic activity.
So instead of these being like advanced alien abilities, what he's saying is they're demonic but they've been repackaged for like the modern age,
Right.
like with a sci-fi twist.
Exactly. Like, for example, telepathy, aliens communicating directly into people's minds. Now, think about the concept of spiritual warfare, where you have, demonic entities trying to influence people's thoughts, their actions. Could there be a connection there? Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down here. It's not just about some like far off alien threat, right? Like
Yeah.
Pastor Mehmet is suggesting that there's something way more sinister at play here, something that's happening right here, right now.
Yeah, and for him, it really boils down to this idea that the alien agenda, and that includes these abductions, it's all serving a much larger and honestly, like, demonic purpose.
Okay, so then what is this alleged purpose? What are these supposed like demonic entities trying to achieve with all of these abductions?
Well, he believes it's all part of this grand deception, like a cosmic smokescreen to distract humanity from, the truth of God. And then ultimately, it's all to pave the way for the Antichrist.
The Antichrist. Wow. Okay, we are really going there.
Yeah, and when he says Antichrist, he's not just talking about, some powerful figure. He takes it literally. He's talking about a physical being, a hybrid offspring of Satan and a human woman.
Hold on. A hybrid Antichrist. Where is he even getting this idea from?
So he draws a parallel to Genesis, the story of the sons of God fathering these giants with human women.
Right.
And Pastor Mehmet's argument is that Satan, at least according to his interpretation of these scriptures, Satan would have the right to reproduce, essentially orchestrating the birth of his, like, demonic heir.
Okay, that is a pretty intense interpretation. I could see how it would play into that, like that ancient fear of corrupted bloodlines,
Yeah.
of humanity being like tainted by something otherworldly.
Exactly. And, remember those alien medical procedures that we were talking about earlier, the ones where they're allegedly extracting sperm and eggs?
Right.
Well, Pastor Mehmet believes that this isn't just, alien curiosity about human biology. This is about manipulating God's creation, potentially even, like, setting the stage for the birth of the Antichrist.